What a sight we've been showing you in Mexico all morning. 19th century church appearing to rise from the water. It's actually just one sign of climate change, its impact around the world. Ginger is there in Guanajuato with the story. Good morning, Ginger.
Good morning, George. After a decades-long slumber beneath the water, this church, magnificent as it is really a symbol of the developing drought, not just here in Mexico, but also in the United States. All of it exacerbated by climate change.
The Church of the Virgin of Dolores, built back in 1898, but more than 4 decades ago, flooded, along with the tiny town of El Zangaro, by a dam that was built to make this reservoir.
There are still some people that tell us about experiences that they have lived that happened in this church because they were baptized or they received a religious ceremony. It is an important symbol within the culture that we have here in Guanajuato.
Now, as an epic drought ravages Mexico, the church is rising from the deep.
It really is unbelievable to imagine water covering that church, but it did for 30 years. It wasn't until 10 years ago that this beloved church started making regular appearances in the dry season. And not until last year, when the water level was so low that people could actually walk through the church on the ground for the first time in more than 4 decades.
Wow. National Geographic explorer Enrique Lomnitz calls it a water crisis.
What happens when a city of 22 million people runs out of water? You can't flush the toilet, you can't do anything. You know? Schools close because they don't have water.
Many reservoirs in Mexico are at their lowest historic points. Here you can see clearly where the high water would be. The tree line there represents it, and just how far this lake is away. And it's not just here in Mexico. In the western United States, we're at the point where developing what could be the worst drought in more than 1,000 years.
A 2020 study shows a mega drought, that's a prolonged drought lasting at least 20 years, is emerging right now in the western United States and northern Mexico.
Today, the drought that we're experiencing is partly bad luck, but it's also partly because of human-caused warming. And because of those warmer temperatures, this drought that would just be kind of bad is instead mega drought bad.
And the impacts are already dire.
The size of fires in any given year has increased by over 1,100%.
Back in Mexico, an up-close look at the immaculate image of drought.
What we're going through in Mexico is actually the same as what people are going through in the western United States. We've reached a point as humanity that these kinds of problems like droughts, they can't be isolated. So the problem is shared, and I hope that the solution will be shared as well. That grabs the oar.
Hey there. So you know what? Enrique's up here now. We're trying to do some live television while positioning ourselves in kayaks. But I have to say, we spent a lot of time inside the church yesterday. It was powerful. It was holy. And not just the church, but the reminder that our water is like gold. And that's what you do, Enrique. Here in Mexico, you have a water conservation organization that reclaims water. Tell us how that helps.
Well, we have an organization called Isla Urbana, and we work in some of the most water precarious communities throughout Mexico, like indigenous communities in very rural places. And in very poor neighborhoods and cities where people literally don't have water. Nor they open the tap and either nothing comes out or brown water comes out.
Right.
And we install rainwater harvesting systems that let the water that falls on their houses from the sky get captured, treated, and stored on site. And it provides a huge percentage of people's water needs and is like really pretty amazing thing.
And they can be autonomous, and that's the beauty of it. 85% of Mexico in drought, though, and so much of the U.S. in drought. How does a rain barrel really help when there's no rain falling or very little?
Well, the thing is, actually, when you're in a drought condition like we're in right now is actually the moment where every drop counts the most, no? And people are going through an incredibly hard time with water in Mexico right now, and these rainwater harvesting systems can provide anywhere between 40 and 80% usually of a house's water needs.
Wow.
And it's transformative. Like, it's really amazing how much you can improve people's water situation with something as simple as rainwater harvesting.
And really just using less. We were talking about that. That's what everybody at home can do right now. And I have to share with you, we just got brand new drought monitor from the United States in Lake Tahoe, feet below where we were last year. We've seen these lakes, the rivers, everything is in that serious and precarious drought. This, again, is just a warning. here in Mexico.
Yeah, and it's a warning, and I think it's a symbol. I mean, this church was entirely covered in water 10 years ago, and now it's like this. And this is happening throughout Mexico and the United States. And I think hopefully this will be a wake-up call for a lot of people.
Thank you so much, Enrique. We'll head back to you all and get our kayaks right here.
Good job.
He's doing important work down there.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.